Hey, how are you? I'm SliceofOtaku, and with the fandom's current fixation on Pink Diamond and her story, a lot of us can't help but consider that of Rose Quartz, who is arguably the most noteworthy former member of Pink's court. And so with this video, despite how often the show does so on their own, I want to further emphasize just how significant Rose Quartz was, and in a sense, still is. Now, although we don't exactly have many Rose Quartz feats displayed for us properly in action, we do have Steven, and all of Steven's powers stem from Rose's gem. And yeah, in certain cases, these abilities are slightly altered due to his partial organic anatomy. So whenever Steven displays a new power or a new usage of said powers, I tend to put them into context with Rose, and I question what the innate power looked like. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we proceed to dive deeper into that, I must say that Rose Quartz was certainly overpowered. I mean, it is actually absurd just how many powers this gem possesses, which I certainly believe to be unique to her alone. In the episode Bubbled, Eyeball lets us know that Rose's healing capabilities were one of a kind and were what kept her and her minuscule forces in contention with the far more sizable Homeworld Armada. Meaning that Homeworld did not possess any gems with the same ability, not even fellow Rose Quartz gems, and this most definitely was not due to them being bubbled, because this seems to have only occurred due to the shattering of Pink Diamond, a later point of the war. Also, with the episode Ocean Gem, Steven manages to heal the cracked gem of Lapis Lazuli, whom at the time had no idea Steven possessed the gem of Rose Quartz, believing him to be just a strange sort of gem she had never seen before, just like Peridot had once believed. And Lapis had never verbally been told about Steven's relation to Rose, and was actually shocked to hear that Steven had healing powers. But when Jasper recognized his connection to Rose in the return, it was made clear that Lapis already figured it out between those 2 points, which serves to further solidify the idea that Rose was the only gem with this ability. An ability just as recognizable as her shield. So yeah, at the very least, if nothing else, the Rose Quartz gem we've come to know was different from all others in this regard. Which is for sure something I've discussed at some point already on this channel, but I think it may be deeper than just that. You see, when it comes to the Earth and many of the things associated with it, there tends to be a sort of experimental or unexplored aspect to them. A full-scale war of gem versus gem isn't the only unheard of thing that has occurred on the planet, but it has most definitely served as the catalyst for many others. While pillaging the planet, Pink Diamond also procured many humans for her zoo, which was neither normal nor necessary. If her reasoning was one merely of scientific curiosity or preparation, then she wouldn't need an observatory which accommodated for their various needs, as the lifeforms displayed on the Jungle Moon were studied and recorded in the moon-based data logs without any sort of zoo to be constructed. Instead, Pink Diamond's interest in humans was masqueraded as a desire for trophies akin to a hunter. But no, Pink Diamond in one way or another admired organic life, or at the very least, human life. The ability to grow, to be ever-changing, to adapt. I mean, just the thought of that sort of freedom seems like it would have a grip on Pink Diamond, who happened to be a small defective diamond who was never given a choice as to who she would become, and had from the very beginning been expected to be something that she really wasn't. And hopefully you're noticing some similarities here between Pink and Rose, because that's sort of what I'm going for. But I also hope you're not expecting me to go down the path of Rose as Pink Diamond or anything of the sort, because I have something else in mind. The previously proposed homeworld plan for Earth was vastly different from the results of Yellow Diamond's conquest of the Jungle Moon's accompanied planet. Yellow Diamond eviscerated her colony, but the Earth was going to be different, a proper self-sustaining, efficient homeworld colony. And a change like this doesn't just happen overnight. Homeworld gems were exploring ways to better utilize available resources in ways never before seen or imagined. A sort of explorative experimentation present in even the human zoo. The vegetation that the humans consume there isn't anything native to Earth, yet it resembles a common Earth fruit, the apple, with a certain sharpness about it intended to make the influence of gems all the more apparent to the audience. But considering gems have no need for nourishment to sustain themselves, we know this was something created specifically for the human zoo. But why go through all this trouble? Why wouldn't the zoo just have typical earth fruit instead? Well, these apples are probably an improvement. I mean, they certainly serve the same sustenance-based purpose as normal apples, but in a far more efficient way. I mean, think about it, it's supposedly mealtime for these humans, yet they merely consume a single fruit, and nothing more for the rest of our time there, despite a depiction of it being nighttime at the end. With normal fruit, that would be an aggressive and potentially unhealthy diet. Yet this is the diet that the humans of the zoo regularly experience, and they all look to be in great health for their respective ages. In fact, Y6's dive into the bath is similar to that of an Olympian diver, which certainly indicates the fitness he possesses. And with that, I don't think that this is the full extent of what homeworld technology is capable when it comes to food alteration. These apples could probably be even more efficient, but humans are strange creatures. Unlike with gem culture, not everything is about efficiency. Our species finds pleasure in tasting foods we consider to be good. So yes, the fruit were made to be effective in sustaining the humans for long periods of time, but not so effective as to deny them of that pleasure. I mean, come on, the color of the fruit apparently changes from day to day. That is totally unnecessary, but once again, humans are strange creatures that sometimes require a change of pace to remain content. And right about now, it may seem like I've derailed heavily from rose quartz to genetically modified fruit, but the reason I'm going this far to explain the concept is so that you're able to realize just how far Pink Diamond was willing to go with her human fascination, even when it comes to something as simple as a fruit. And you know what, whenever I discuss rose quartz, a ton of people ask me whether or not I believe rose to be a defective gem, which is a rather peculiar question as it depends on what you mean by defective. If your definition of defective in this instance is the same as how amethyst didn't emerge as expected, then I disagree. If your definition is more so along the line of what Jasper describes to be not fitting into the current order of the diamonds, then yes. You see, I believe that rose quartz emerged perfectly, which ironically happens to be the issue. Rose is too perfect, both physically and mentally, but she is perfect for a different ideology entirely. Her healing abilities are capable of healing gems, inanimate objects, and even organic life. Her ability to control and induce sentient intelligence within plant matter is an ability which depends on organic life, placing it in an innate juxtaposition to the general homeworld ideology. And then there's Steven's dream abilities, which in of itself sounds to be something rather strange for a gem to possess, as they have no need for sleep. And they can of course do so if they really want to, but it's totally unnecessary. And with gems, all of the powers they're intended to have a particular purpose which align with their own role. But hey, even if this is just a gem-human hybrid alteration to the ability, it's an ability which allows for the entering of both gem and organic perspectives and minds. So with this power in particular, I think we've yet to see Rose utilize anything of the sort for a reason, and so I'm looking forward to when they do, because I'm expecting it to be rather noteworthy. And in terms of mentality, quartz gems are only expected and intended to be muscle, and aren't necessarily looked to for intelligence, yet Rose was recognized to be an adversary with respectable tactics by not only Jasper, but Yellow Diamond. Now Jasper is one thing, but Yellow Diamond is a being who has procured multiple planets and waged many wars. A tactics-based compliment from someone like that is pretty staggering, and certainly, Yellow Diamond doesn't come across as the complimentative type. Rose, despite being labeled a foot soldier, was a natural leader, which in the world of gems means quite a lot. Ultimately, I believe rose quartz to be a gem created with integration in mind. Like Bismuth said, she was just another quartz soldier made on Earth, but she was different, and I think that difference was purposeful. You know, a while back when I was still rather new to making videos, I said that rose quartz was from Homeworld, not remembering that specific line from Bismuth, but rather Rose telling Greg that she doesn't miss her home. We've seen the prime kindergarten and we've seen the beta kindergarten, but we've yet to see Rose's place of emergence. And I mean, we've been relatively thorough with both locations, so if Rose were from either, I'd expect it to be something of a focus, which leads me to believe that this is yet another thing related to Rose that the crew has intentionally kept away from us, as it'll be pretty significant in the future. Another bit of integration between gem and organic life associated with Rose Quartz is Lion. Now, based on the process we saw turn a deceased Lars pink, it seems as though Rose's healing tears are capable of resurrection and altering organic life. Doing so allows for a sort of portable warp technology. Warp technology being something invented by Homeworld a little while before the war broke out. This ability is incredibly useful as it makes traversing the entirety of a planet relatively easy, and as we've seen, even going from the Earth to its accompanying moon is a possibility. And on top of that, Lion's pocket dimension works as a collection tool which doesn't really use up any space, and as indicated by Lars going from famished to just fine, like gems, they have no need for food to sustain themselves but can consume if they want to. With all of this in mind, I feel as though Rose Quartz may have been Pink Diamond's legacy, but I don't think even she knew just how far her intentions would go, in the sense that her legacy left a legacy of her own, which took the concept to an entirely different level in the form of Steven Universe. A true combination of human and gem. A being with a vast pool of gem abilities, but with the ultimate ability possessed by humans, the freedom of growth. Steven is capable of things Rose could only dream of, things like being able to fuse with both humans and gems, but even then, he has yet to fully develop. He has this sort of immeasurable potential within him, which serves to not only open the door of possibilities, but rip it off the hinges. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video and now truly comprehend the importance of Rose Quartz's creation and how it all ties together with Pink Diamond's dream. I mean, I just love when stories do this sort of thing, passing down the baton and such, and with that, Steven's magical destiny is the magic of not having a destiny. Nothing is preordained and his choices are his alone, and that's incredible. An incredible power that we all at the core of our beings possess. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.